Yo, it's yours truly. It's the forecaster Freddy Flores coming to you live here at the Lucha Pro Backyards. Here to answer some questions. The whys, the whats, the whos, the where, and of course, why. Most importantly, why? Well, we're here and we're gonna give you an explanation.
Why? That's the question everyone's asking. Why did it take you so long, Mikey, to wake the hell up? For 5 years, OCCW. For 5 years, John. I gave you my love, sweat, and tears. Try to do the right thing, no matter how much the obstacle was against me. And for what? So this entire wrestling scene in Southern California can ridicule me for your actions? I have put up with enough of your stupid shit. Remember when I said, Marcus, be careful what you wish for? Unfortunately, you and Azrael, my old buddy, you're about to get it.
Yeah. Well,
and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody to
Go ahead.
OCCW Royal Ramble with Jonathan Mellis and still our tag team champions, Thunder and Lightning. What the freak is going on?
Listen, I've been in this business a long time. This goes back to the mid-'90s. And every time I see something, I say to myself, oh, I've seen it before. Oh, yeah, did you hear about this? Yeah, I've heard that before. In my days, I have seen a lot. I have done a lot. I have heard a lot. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would live to see the day when a man that we all thought was just as stand-up as a stand-up guy could be. Never did I think I would see Mikey O'Shea stick a knife in the back of his friends, in his company, but more importantly, in his fans. Ladies and gentlemen, this weekend at American Legion Post 716, the annual Halloween purging, Mikey O'Shea went over to the other side and threw in with the lowlifes of Lucha Pro. No. I'm not making a mistake. You heard it right. There's nothing wrong with your digital platform. Mikey O'Shea has officially gone bad.
You know what, John? We all said, yeah, Mikey O'Shea needs to get a little bit of fire in his belly. He needs to figure out a way to become that winner that we all knew he was. Don't put it on me, Mikey. I asked for you to step up and be a man. Pull your head out of your ass and be the winner that we all knew you could be. But instead, you tuck tail and you become a big bitch and you turn your back on OCCW. You want to do that? You want to sit there and run your mouth talking about it's my fault that I asked for this? That we all asked for this? We didn't ask for this. We asked for a man. And instead you gave us a yelly belly piece of shit.
Mike, you say you traitorous son of a bitch! We built this company on our backs, you fat mother! We sold out Cage Match 1 of our blood, our sweat, our tears. We filled that arena. We filled the Legion Post. We went from 30 people in the building to 330. You fat piece of trash! And you sell us out! You could have won that championship for yourself, for OCCW, and you gotta bow down to Vintage Dragon. You care what everyone else thinks about you, but you know what? I stood up for you. I said Mikey O'Shea's the best guy. Mikey O'Shea's a hero. Mikey O'Shea would not turn his back, and you make me look like an idiot. You care about how I feel about you? I'm gonna snap you in half when I see you, you fat piece of trash.
Well, folks, I think you get our opinion and what we think and how we feel. Never in my life, Mikey O'Shea, and I'm talking to you, specifically Mikey O'Shea. So if you're watching, right, if you're not busy getting Vintage Dragon's laundry or maybe picking up some pizza for Vito Pepperoni, right, if you're watching, Mikey, you can never come home again. After all we have all been through together, the battles, the trials, the tribulations, like you said, the blood, sweat, tears, right, to blame this on me? To blame this on OCCW? I'm surprised he didn't blame Joey the Bull. Mikey O'Shea, you will not get away with this. Vintage Dragon, you are not safe. Dare I say, Lucha Pro, a day of reckoning is coming. And when you look up from that puddle of blood and pus and sweat, and you look up to see what happened, you'll see OCCW's top guys, and there's going to be some more of them, and the boss standing over you. And you're going to say, come on, give us a break. Let us go. And I'm going to look at you in the eye, Mikey O'Shea, specifically. I'm going to make you wipe the blood and the snot from your face. And I'm going to look at you and say, no. This is on you, Mike. You've taken this to a whole lower level, the likes of which none of you will ever come back from. And that's all I got to say about that. In other news, all right, if you haven't been following AEW, you by now have, or if you have been following AEW, by now you've heard of the controversy swirling around a one Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt is the 5'2" professional, long-haired professional wrestler. Looks like Rudy's illegitimate twin brother, right? And we didn't get a chance to weigh in on it last weekend. What do you think?
I mean, what I think is that what he brings to the table is something more than what Mikey O'Shea brought on Saturday, which is guts and a sense of knowing how to stand up for what's right and trying to get in that ring and be a man. Yeah, it's something that a lot of fans aren't getting behind, because when you see a little guy like that, you think, oh, I could punch him in the mouth and knock him out. But at the same time, stepping in this ring ain't for everybody. And the fact that he's got balls enough to step in the ring and go toe-to-toe with some of the top guys in AEW, it is what it is. You know, you might not like him, you might like him. Me, myself, yeah, I would have preferred to have seen Luchasaurus, but, you know, damn it, injuries happen. It is what it is. So you either accept it for what it is, or you sit there and you whine and complain about it. It's the tag team division. We've all been there. My original tag team partner, the big man, Big O, big love to you, big homie, he had a freaking injury that put him out. And guess what? I didn't cry about it. I found another top guy. I got a tag team title. That's what you do. And that's exactly what Jungle Boy tried to do. He lost his partner, he went out there and he found somebody else.
I could not give 2 drops of rat piss about Marco's stunt. I started wrestling with Mikey O'Shea 8 years ago in Mach 1. I started training when he was there, when he was already a top guy in Southern California. And I watched the people make fun of him, and I watched the people pass him over when he should be the champion of your godforsaken piss-head companies. Mikey O'Shea is one of the best talents in all of goddamn California, in all of independent wrestling. Could be in AEW, could snap Marco... What's the little pig's name? Stunt. Could snap Marco's stunt in half. Could rip Darby Allin's arms off his body and beat him to death with them. Because he is a juggernaut. And you stab us in the back like this. We put everything that we have into this company. All of our blood, all of our sweat, all of our tears, all of our effort. Mikey O'Shea is is the head trainer here. Most of the kids in the ring are trained by him to begin with. And you're going to go over to Lucha Pro and what? Bypass, latigo, arriba, arriba, arriba. And that's what you want to be, Mikey. You're going to be a piñata for Vintage Dragon. He's going to drag you around. He's going to suck everything out of you. They're going to ride your coattails. Because Mikey O'Shea is a legitimate athlete. Watch him go head over heels, over the top rope in the match. 300 pounds. And he can do a backflip. And you're going to tell me that he needs Vintage Dragon to win a championship. Mikey O'Shea could take a championship from any company on national television if he felt like it. But you're going to go to Lucha Pro. Yeah, I care about Marco's stunt. I never met him, don't give a goddamn. Haven't driven 6 hours with Marco's stunt like I've driven 6 hours with Mikey O'Shea to Las Vegas.
I was just trying to lighten the mood a little bit. Joey, what do you think about all this? You were there.
You know, I'm really disappointed in Mike because every time, you know, Mike's done with his match, he always gives me love. Hey, thanks, Joey. You know, you mean a lot, blah, blah, blah. And after the shit that he pulled, you know, I'm keeping my cool. I know as right now he's heated up, and I don't want to go there because, you know, if I get heated up, I might get my ass beat by Mikey because I don't, you know, Mikey's a scary guy, and I'm not going to try to talk shit on him. But very disrespectful, very disappointed. A lot of your fans out there are very disappointed. A lot of the kids are out there that used to cheer you are very disappointed. I mean, I seen in our last purge, I seen kids in tears, wondering why, Mikey. We look up to you, bro. And
I'll give you the aspect of a man that's been trained by Mikey O'Shea. I used to be able to walk around and be proud, telling people when they asked, "Who trained you?" I said, "Mikey O'Shea," and they would all look at me like, "Wow, that's an upstanding guy." You know what I get to say now? I was trained by the one asshole who can turn his back on his brothers in wrestling. We were like brothers. I always called OCCW my dysfunctional family because yes, we have problems from time to time, like every damn family, but we never turn our backs on each other. And what you did was a load of shit. You turned your back on people that would have your back through thick and thin, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of La Raza doing it and thinking that it's fun. Everybody that wants to come in here and then turn their back and say, "Oh, he only gives us sub sandwiches." Guess what? He gave you a fucking opportunity. And Mikey, you had an opportunity. And you turned your back.
Do not shake my hand and act like we are cool and then stab me in the back once the match starts. We've been on the opposite sides before, fine. We've been on the same team before, also fine. But establish what it is before we go out there. Do not say that we are on the same team, that we are cool, and then I never in my life would have expected to see Mike O'Shea just lay down for the guy with the Katy Perry song.
And I got to tell Mikey this, man. If you're man enough, you need to come on and talk one-on-one with these guys. Find out what the hell's going on instead of being one of those fools out there going behind social media and typing their problems towards you. If you got an issue, they're right here in front of your face to talk about it. I mean, do you agree with me, B.A. Marcus?
I mean, everybody that wants to sit there and have these Twitter fingers and create videos and vignettes talking all this crap online. Guess what? You know the address. What's the address? 8381
Catella Avenue, Unit J.
Unit J. You know where it is. Come down here and be a man. If you got something to say to me or anybody here in OCCW, we're not hard to find.
To be fair, most of those people who talk that shit have been here and know exactly how to get here, right? They ain't coming back because guys like you are cowards, little, what do they call them, keyboard warriors?
Yeah.
Keyboard commandos.
If you want to fight me, fight me. Sign it up and let's do the match. You want to fight B.A. Marcus Frey? Sign it up and do the match. You want to fight Joey Bryan? Sign it up and do the match. You want to fight Goose and Uberstone? Sign it up. But don't start with one thing and then go with something else. If we're going to be on the same side, okay. If not, let's do this.
You shook hands with us in a vote of confidence. We all got together in the thoughts and worries that Gooston wasn't with us. You even voiced that. You said, I don't know if I can get in the ring with somebody that I can't trust.
Because everybody in that match put their heart and their soul into that match. I got dropped on my head, eaten on the floor, beat on by everything that La Raza had. He took it from Dan Joseph. Goose and Uberson threw everything he had into that match. Joey Barone threw everything he had into that match. Fighting and fighting and fighting. And then the last guy just lays down.
We're going to get another opinion on this, another point of view, because clearly you guys have been pretty clear about how you feel about it. Let's bring in Joey Barone. He was one of your partners in the. If you want to take a minute to just inhale and breathe and take it all in. It's been a couple of days now. I understand you guys being upset, but I know.
It pisses in my face.
Hey, how's it going? Sit down. I think we're okay.
What's going on? I've been better, Joe. Knew him for 8 years, Joey. Thought I knew him for 8 years. Not as much.
Apparently.
I've been wrong before.
Apparently not.
Now, Joey, you were there, but you weren't in the ring when it went down. I know you were in the back and you were kind of, still pulling for your team to win, even though you spent. I think you spent most of the time in the ring more than anyone else, right?
Better part of the first 30 minutes, yeah. It's a long fight.
And you didn't lay down at any point.
Nope.
You didn't just you could have thrown in the towel at any point. Just let him pin you and go on about your day.
Yeah, would have been the easy thing to do.
Well, or no, the easiest thing to do would have been to turn on your friends. You think?
Oh, that's a way. Yeah.
So what do you think?
That's the coward's way. That's not the way that we all do things around.
Exactly. Here's what I think, John, and I'm going to backtrack a little bit more before this. When you asked me to join Team OCCW, I came into OCCW. I didn't have any allegiance to any company. I came in. I'm just a guy who likes to wrestle and will wrestle wherever I can go. That's what I do. So I didn't have a reason to be in that fight until Next Level, when Vito crashed me in the face with my own shield. So yeah, when you offered me an opportunity to get back at Vito, that's what enticed me to get into this match. And I got in there with guys who I've had a brief history with, since I've only been for the company for a short time.
Right. I've
had a history with Azrael. But I knew going into this that if all of our heads were in the game, we would win. Right. I'd get my payback, OCCW would get their win, and we would be back on top where we belong. Now I'm referring to myself as an OCCW guy. I went out there and I fought alongside BA. I fought alongside Azrael. I fought alongside Gooston, and I fought alongside Mikey O'Shea. I'll tell you what right now, boys. You two, regardless of anything in the past, I got nothing but love for you two. You guys put your heart and soul into that match. You took an ass kicking, and you kept fighting and fighting and fighting. And if it wasn't for, what's his name, Mikey O'Shea, tagging you back in after you got 10 seconds of rest.
See, I was in the middle. I reached out for my longest-term friend. Surely, Mikey O'Shea, the stalwart of OCCW. He's going to be the most invested guy in this match. I'll go and tag to him. I've been dropped on my head. I can't. I'm woozy. I don't know. I'm looking around in the dark, and there's O'Shea. Bam! And then right back to me. 3 other guys he could have tagged, but he set
made no
me up.
sense.
You stabbed me in my back. You sabotaged that match from the beginning. And then I'm out and we're down 4-5. Then BA comes in and we're down 3-5. And then Joey Barone's got to try to carry the whole thing for 30 minutes. Stabbed me in my back, shot me in the foot.
Made no sense.
Worst part about it is none of us saw it coming.
No, I mean, because you think that this man has more moral fiber than that. Yeah, I mean, the one thing that you always know when you're talking to Mikey O'Shea is, man, this guy really has some good core values. He has a great moral fiber. Not anymore. His fiber is full of shit, just like his mouth.
All right.
Sounds fair.
I never thought Mikey would just lay down and give up. I've seen him go to tryout after tryout, year after year, getting better and better, putting everything that he has into wrestling. This is Mikey O'Shea's life. And he has an opportunity to win the championship, to beat Vintage Dragon. Instead, he lays down and lets him beat him. Because that's the easy way out.
Yeah. Now, to go further, John, because I didn't quite finish, and I'm not over here trying to put myself over.
That's
It's
okay.
about all of us. It's about the team. But to answer your question, yeah, I blame Mikey for Azrael's elimination because of his poor decision making, which was obviously premeditated. Then he tries to do the same thing to me, and I have to. While I was in there, and it was me, Mikey, and Gustin, I was in that match almost the entire time. I got my hands on each and every single member of Lucha Pro. I busted my ass. I let them know who Mr. Wrestling is. I let them know who Joey Barone is. And I let them know that you don't judge a book by its cover. Everyone was asking for the little guy in the beginning of the match
remember.
before we started.
Yeah.
You boys didn't know what you wanted. You didn't know what you were getting in the ring with because you're getting in the ring with the most baddest son of a bitch around. 5'6" doesn't matter. I can wrestle any one of you under the table. I can make any one of you tap out, and I can knock any one of you out with that flying knee to the face. You think you wanted me? You don't know what you want. But I'll tell you what you're going to get in the future, and that's more ass whoopings from OCCW. I stayed in the ring. I got my payback on Vito. I smashed you in the face with my shield and watched you get eliminated while your team watched on and could do nothing. You, Mikey O'Shea, after I busted my ass, I gave everything I had. I put everything on the line. And for what? For you to go and do the big deed, screwing over OCCW, sucking on Lucha Pros, you know what? Brother, you got a payback coming. And it's not just from us three. You got a payback coming from all of OCCW. You better believe that.
I mean, it shows the type of individual that he is. After the match is all said and done, Mikey O'Shea usually comes to the back, shakes everybody's hand, says, "Hey, great job, guys." Why this time Mikey
Win or
O'Shea
lose, you're right.
he had somebody else take his bag outside so that he could jump into a waiting car?
Let's not gloss over the fact that not only did he turn on you guys, not only did he with the gunslinger Goostin Uberstude. After that, what did he do? He laid down for Vintage Dragon.
And to get what? For the approval of the SoCal wrestling scene that has overlooked Mikey O'Shea for 8 years. You're going to be in the SoCal Uncensored Top 50 when you become Lucha Pros champion. Because that's so important to Mikey O'Shea. What everyone else cares about. You know, just throw OCCW in the trash. Because they're not a company that counts. They're not one of the top 5 companies in Southern California. Despite having the highest goddamn attendance in the last half decade.
That's
but
right.
No. That's not a big deal. You know, you can have a great match in front of 40 people somewhere, you piece of trash, and you put a knife in my back and a knife in OCCW, and I will see you in hell.
But not before we get a piece of you first, Mike.
No, I mean he did what he's gonna do from now on is lay down in the sewer with a bunch of rats. That's all he did. Laid on his back and let the fattest rat of them all lay over his chest for a 3 count.
All right. That being said, okay, let's shift gears just a bit. Let's all take a breath, okay? Let's all take a breath. I know we've been mad about this for days, and this is the first time we've all got to sit down and actually.
Do we have a day for the next show?
I was about to say.
Let's get to that. 'Cause that's the day I'm gonna get my hands on that son of a bitch. Let me know about that. That's what I want to know.
Saturday, November 30th, Orange County Championship Wrestling makes its triumphant return to the Triple Nickel. That's right, folks. American Legion Post 555. OCCW presents Black Saturday. That's right. It'll be the day after all that madness that is known as Black Friday, all that shopping and wasting and fighting over flat screens and hitting each other over the head for laptops, right? You get to come and see some real violence and some real competition for something that really matters. For the OCCW heavyweight champion, you will see Vintage Dragon, the guy we've been talking about. You will see Mikey O'Shea. Bet your bottom dollar you're going to see Mikey O'Shea in that ring. You'll see Vito Fratelli. You'll see the team of Thunder and Lightning. Absolutely, you will see Joey Brown. Even if it was solely based on the strength of his showing at Halloween Purging, you will see all of these angry men in action. You know, we could easily call the card 12 Angry Men because 12 of these men want to put their foot so far up Mikey O'Shea's ass that he's going to have to pick his nose to tie his shoes. Now, you just remember this, right? Saturday, November 30th. That's right. American Legion Post 555 is where we're going to be. You come down. You see Mikey O'Shea get his comeuppance. You see Vintage Dragon. I may put him in the ring with any one of these guys. What do you think of that?
I could rip each and every one of their limbs off their body.
555 is where I got my first victory over Mikey O'Shea. I'd love to come back and make it full circle and get another one. And you know what? He helped start my career. I'll gladly help end his.
And I'll be... Excuse me, gentlemen. Sorry. It's the wins. You'll see Gusten Uberstute in action. You'll see the newly... Well, we're going to get to that in a minute. All right? But that's American Legion Post 555. November 30th, doors open at 5:30. Show starts at 6 p.m.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
You know what one of my favorite parts was at the Purging?
What's that?
It was that time when Vintage Dragon was beating me down during that match.
That was one of your favorite?
Oh, and I'll get to why. Okay. Because he thought he had me. He thought he had me down. He thought he had me beat. And then what happened? What happened to you, Vintage Dragon? I grabbed you right around the waist, and I German suplexed your spine to the mat. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. I was feeling the bones in your back rattle. I was feeling the wind come out of your lungs. I was feeling the soul coming out of your body. And what happened? Who had to ruin my moment? Vito. Once again, had to save you from getting torn up by Joey Barone. Here's a question, though, because I got no match at this point for November 30th. I'm assuming Gusten, with all the things that are going on, he's probably next in line to get a shot at Vintage Dragon in that OCCW championship, isn't he?
Well, we're going to talk with him because he had quite a weekend, and we're gonna get to that. So I can't quite reveal that detail, but yeah, he is in line.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, Johnny boy. He's not the
again.
Johnny boy.
You know what?
He's not the only one that wants gold. He's not the only one that has his eyes on the prize, and he's not the only one that wants to bring the OCCW championship back to OCCW. So I'll let you sit on that and think about that.
You know what? I have no problem putting you in with Vintage Dragon. Unfortunately, Vintage Dragon is a champion, and he has to accept a list of contenders. What I will do, I will put your name at the top of the list. And by this time next week, we will have an answer. If I don't get a response from Vintage Dragon within 24 hours, you can pencil yourself in, young man.
Hey, Vintage, it's time for you to sack up, brother, because you're going for another ride. Suplex after suplex after damn suplex, and that OCCW championship is coming home with me. If you accept the challenge, of course.
Fair enough. All right, we want to say thank you to Joey Barone, not only for showing up tonight, but really showing up Saturday. You know what?
I appreciate it.
It's good to have, maybe it's addition by subtraction. Maybe we lose one, we get another. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I mean, 5 of their top guys put a beating on him for half an hour that he withstood. I have every confidence that he can beat that one main piece of trash in about 10 minutes.
I would be more than tickled pink to see that happen. Thank you, Joey Barone. As if the news couldn't get any worse, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call in our next guest. Right? He's known the world over. Well, he is a former OCCW heavyweight champion. He is known the world over as the German fitness guru. And now, sadly, he is now the former Lucha Pro heavyweight wrestling champion. Probably the only man who had a worse weekend than the rest of OCCW. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gusten Thunder Uberstute. How you doing, Gusten? Nice to see you.
You're gonna have to forgive my countenance this evening.
Before we start, let me just say this. Do you have the walkout, Robert? The walkout for OCCW? Everyone was talking about how Gusten was going to had turned, and he had saved Vintage Dragon from Damon Devine, and that he was going to be the next man to go Lucha Pro. All of us waited with bated breath. We thought for sure we'd lost a good man. And to his credit, it was all a dream. It was a swerve because Gusten Uberstute stepped up and put the boots to Lucha Pro, brought an air of unity to Team OCCW as they ran them from the ring. But what I want, it's all right. I don't think it's there. What I want to say is, despite the sad outcome, I want to thank you and congratulate you for ultimately making what was the right choice in staying with your friends at OCCW.
I mean, I'm going to say this. Me and Gusten haven't always seen eye to eye. And when he comes out sometimes, I feel like I want to punch him in the mouth. But I have to say that Saturday he showed me that he's definitely more of a man than the piece of trash formerly known as our resident John Cena, Mikey O'Shea. I mean, I gotta say, Gusten, I'm sorry for ever doubting you.
Yeah, and so am I. I really am. I know we gave you a lot of flack last week about, hey, what is this? You're Vintage Dragon's boy now, and you took that criticism. You knew all along, didn't you?
Yeah, of course I knew all along. And I'm sorry too. I'm sorry for taking everybody on this ride. But I knew what I had to do. I knew what Lucha Pro had been doing for months and months and months, pulling guys over like La Raza from OCCW and just screwing us at every turn. So I knew that the only way that I was going to get them is to get them on my terms. And to do that, I had to pull the wool over everybody's eyes. I had to make everybody believe that I was jumping over there. And I did that for two reasons. One, there is no way I'm going to let a guy like Damon Devine, a rat like Damon Devine, everybody say, oh, why'd you do that to Damon Devine? He's such a great guy. No, you forget about Damon Devine, what Damon Devine has done to me and what he has done to Mikey O'Shea, which at this point, c'est la vie. But at the time, I was looking out for my brothers. There's no way I'm letting a guy like him take our title and run off on another tour of Asia.
Fair enough.
I'm keeping my whole
It all
goal
seems
was
so clear now. It all seems so much clearer.
I wanted to keep that title right here, and I knew if I could pull the wool over Lucha Pro's eyes, I knew that I could leave them short a man and that we would bring that title home. And I said at that show, before that match, I said, that title is coming back to OCCW tonight. And if I can't do it, one of my OCCW brothers will. And in the final moments of that match with Mikey O'Shea, I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was coming home. At that moment, I didn't know if it was coming home on my waist or I didn't know if it was coming home on Mikey O'Shea's waist, but I knew it wasn't walking out of that building on Vintage Dragon's waist. The amount of work that we put in, not just that night, but for months and months and months, leading up to all of that, to bring that title home, and for Mikey O'Shea to turn his back on his brothers and leave them abandoned. Leave them without their championship once again. That's something I just didn't see. I looked through the locker room and I looked into the soul of every man in there to figure out, how is this belt going to come home? Who can I trust? Mikey O'Shea is the last The very, very last one I ever would have thought I couldn't.
You know, I saw children crying in the crowd. I saw women looking away. I saw grown men shaking their heads. You know, I feel like not only did we not get, I felt like a piece of OCCW died that night. You know, I know that sounds melodramatic, but, you know, the one thing that anyone could always count on coming to an OCCW show was Mikey O'Shea, the hero. Mikey O'Shea on the side of the right. Mikey O'Shea not being broken. Well, now not only have you seen Mikey O'Shea turn and become, you know, less than heroic, you will also see, mark my words, Mr. O'Shea, you will see Mikey O'Shea get broken. I promise you this. This is my promise to all the fans and all the boys who work at OCCW, from the ring crew to the ring announcers to the commentators to the people at the concession stands, to all the fans, to all the wrestlers. My name is Jonathan Malice. I promise you, Mikey O'Shea and Lucha Pro will not get away with what they pulled last weekend. That's all I've got left to say about it.
You could have taken the easy way out. You've been Lucha Pro champion. If you lay down for Vintage Dragon, if it's the other way around, make it a lot more comfortable for your situation. Maybe instead of Hector Canales, jacked up muscular Hector Canales, WWE almost Hector Canales, maybe you're wrestling like Super Green or somebody little or God oh knows, some kid out of the crowd and you can defend the Lucha Pro championship. You could have taken the easy way out and did it, and it cost you everything that you had. It cost him the championship that he's been fighting and fighting for months and months, because they stuck the knife in him and gave him the most muscular man in California, pretty much.
Yeah.
Not only did the OCCW title not come home with us that evening, I had to go out and fight again the next day. After being through a brutal 5-on-5, barely able to stand by the end of the match, and then taking a gunslinger, having my head driven into the mat by Mikey O'Shea, and then having to go out and defend my Lucha Pro title the next night. Mikey O'Shea, you did not just cost me once, you cost me twice. And I am not going to forget that. And nobody at this table is going to forget that.
I think the one thing that's just driving me crazy, that keeps just gnawing at the back of my head, is the fact that he always said how much he loved OCCW. And not only that, but to turn around and blame his recent misfortunes in the ring on us.
Yeah.
Like it was our fault that you didn't have the drive. Like it was our fault that you couldn't stop pulling up at Krispy Kreme after every night of training. That it was our fault that you didn't have the fire underneath you to win each match. That was your fault. You didn't put in the dedication to get it done. And now you think aligning yourselves with these ravenous, mangy mutts is going to get you victories?
He would have won. He was fresh. He hadn't even been in the match for 95% of it. It's 2 against 1. You could have crushed him. Either one of you could have crushed him.
And we're going to show that match in its entirety next week, all right? So make sure you tune in next week. We have to do a little bit of editing, so, you know, to get the you'll see. But, yes, we're definitely going to show that next week. But tonight, obviously we're all in shock. Obviously we're all very upset. And clearly we are glossing over the fact that this weekend you wrestled
Hector Canales.
Hector Canales for the Lucha Pro Heavyweight Wrestling title. Now, how long had you held that title, Goosen?
I picked up that title shortly after I picked up the OCCW title. I picked that title up in March.
Okay, March. So you've had it for a good part of 9 months. Is it 9 months?
Pretty close. Probably the longest reigning Lucha Pro champion ever. The best Lucha Pro champion that they've ever had. And you stab him in the back. Where's Hector been? How does he earn this opportunity? He just magically appears at Lucha Pro. And they put him against the guy that you knew. They spent the last night beforehand putting the 5-man beatdown on the guy. Leading the champion that they wanted to have in the setup fight. It was a terrible situation to walk into. I'm sorry it happened to you. I think you'll get it back. You'll get the OCCW championship back.
Something.
I hobbled into that building. I hobbled my way into East LA. just to defend my title. To defend my title proudly, because that's the kind of man I am.
Fair enough. So, take us through the match. Walk us through the match. What happened? How did Hector Canales win that title from him?
I had the match pretty much in hand. I was beating Hector Canales' butt all the way around the ring, beating those pink tights right up his butt crack, all the way in front of all of those fans. They were sitting there with their cha-chas and their tchotchkes, making all this noise, trying to get him riled up, and he couldn't. He couldn't do it. Because Gusta Nubestad, on one good leg, was beating his butt, had him, took him down at the end of the match, and then the referee pulled a fast count on me. You could go back and watch the end of that match. You will go back and watch the end of that match once it's released, and you will see it for yourself. Gusta Nubestad takes Hector Canales to the mat. The ref, 1, 2. Hector Canales rolls Gusta Nubestad up. What does the ref do? 1, 2, 3. The crowd goes wild. Yay, Hector Canales, 12th anniversary. Congratulations, Lucha Pro, on your 12th anniversary. You screwed your champion. 2 nights in a row.
And we have never done that, man. We have never done that. We could have fast counted Vintage Dragon on any night. I kept bringing it up. I paid Luther. I gave Luther a lot of money. I keep trying to push John that way. Look, man, just 1, 2, 3 and get it over with. Just get the belt off of him. I don't care who.
It shows you their lack of human decency. They don't have what it takes to go in the ring and wrestle like real men. They have to put little swerves and curves everywhere to try and make things work in their favor.
To be fair, I have not seen that match, so we don't know.
Okay, well let me say this about that match, okay?
Okay.
Let me give a teeny little bit of props to Hector Canales.
Yeah.
Because that man lasted. That man, he may not have been around, but he came in there in shape and he came in there to win. And I beat that man's butt for 20 straight minutes before he pulled that victory on me, and he lasted.
Hector Canales has been around for a long time. He's wrestled for me a few times. I've known him for a long time. He is, without a doubt, one of the most well-conditioned wrestlers in the scene here in SoCal.
He took me through it. But he took me through it. I'm sitting there hobbling around on one good leg. Next time, the results might not be so in your favor.
And you know what, Gustin, I know that I've known you for a while now, too, and I know your wrestling skills and your ability, and you're deceivingly tough, toughness. And I don't think that Hector Canales had anticipated it being so tough for you. I don't know what his deal with Vintage Dragon is. I don't know how, if they're both dreaming the same dreams, if you know what I mean.
Hector Canales, if you have some kind of dream with Vintage Dragon, I would suggest you wake up, and you wake up really quick. Take some caffeine pills, whatever you got to do, because if you're in league with that man is going to stab you in the back. Do not be surprised if that title comes right off your waist and goes right on to Vintage Dragon's waist with some kind of crookedness that only he can pull off, because he's been snaking his way through OCCW for the past 9 months, and he will snake his way through you and take that title right off your waist. You wake up and you give me that rematch. That's what you do, Hector Canales. You wake up and you give me that rematch when I'm 100%, and let's see where that title ends up.
I mean, I don't understand all these people laying down with rattlesnakes and thinking they ain't gonna get bit. Like, that, literally everyone is aligning themselves with the biggest, nastiest snake in the business and thinking that it's gonna take them to the roads of victory. La Raza, perfect example. Danny Moon used to be one that would run with OCCW. Then he aligned himself with Lucha Pro. Where did that get him?
Dan Joseph. What do you promise Dan Joseph?
I'm telling you, like, they're all laying down with a giant rat, and they don't expect to come up with fleas.
You know what?
Out of the goodness of your heart, invited Dan Joseph to that show, and look what happened.
You know what? I hadn't seen him
up.
in a while. Well, you know what? He was just there to watch the show at first, and then when the boys found out that you weren't throwing in with them, he saw his opportunity. Maybe, you know what? Maybe he'd talk Mikey into it. Maybe that was the deciding factor. I don't know. But, so yeah, now Dan Joseph has thrown in with Lucha Pro. For those of you who are not familiar with Dan Joseph, he's a fantastic wrestler, well-conditioned athlete. Has a really nice beard now, but that's about all the good I can say about him, as he is one of them. And if you are with my enemy, you are my enemy. I'm sorry to say. Let's shift gears. Robert, do you have that match? This weekend was the first match in the inaugural American Legion Post Wrestling title. The American Legion Post title is a new title here in OCCW that will be defended only at the American Legion Post and specifically at the request of said American Legion Post. So you will see this title defended November 30th at 555. I think we all need to see this because there was actually one of the high points of the evening.
I'll watch some wrestling. Wrestling usually cheers me up.
There was actually some good that went down at that show. Ladies and gentlemen, the match features Luis Tap Out Tapia against the Chiver Freddie Havoc for the inaugural Orange County's American Legion title belt.
Championship match. The referee is Victoria. Coming to the ring first, one of the challengers for the American Legion Championship. Here it is. You can't be alone. Luis Tap Out Tapia.
This guy's big and he's buffed and he's all these things, right? But if he doesn't give a damn about your company, if he doesn't give a damn about you and the wrestlers in the back, he doesn't belong in a title match. He doesn't belong vying for a brand new title. If you look closely, if you know anything about Lou Tapia or Freddie Chiver, you know that they are 100% all about OCCW. Not only do they represent well, they go that extra mile, whether it's moving the ring, selling tickets, and they do. They have huge followings, both of them. Dare I say I make money off these guys? Yes, I do, right?
So they not only that, just training their butts off to be some of the top-notch guys here in OCCW.
Yeah, they don't just show up on show night and expect to get paid. Go ahead.
Next to O'Shea, Luis is one of the people that I've known the longest. He was in Mach 1 when I came into wrestling. He's been in the Orange County SoCal wrestling scene for close to a decade. Has never had a match for a singles title. He's another guy that's overlooked by everybody. And this is his chance. This is his night to get his reward.
Yes, that's right. There's Chiver. Now if you look at those two big fans. You know, see that family right there? I don't know if they're friends of Chiver's or not, but they were so excited for the show. It made me so happy. Now you'll notice this match is wrestled under pre-purge rules. In other words, it's a regular wrestling match for a championship title. You'll notice none of the purgers are present. None of the weapons are available.
Freddie Havoc doesn't need the weapons. Like, he's been training in the Lucha Libre. He's friends with Mariachi and Cholo. He's been working. He's been adding things to the
look at that.
Who's
that guy?
What was that? Freddie's lucky he didn't come up and get popped from behind.
This is sad.
Mikey O'Shea was in the background lurking.
I mean, that's the thing. Freddie Havoc's got a solid following because everyone loves the underdog story. And that guy is literally the underdog story. I mean, he came in as an official and trained his ass off to be able to step in that ring and show the world that what he brought to the table.
Both guys have came from being referees all the way to the top.
He's the sour cream of OCCW. You know, everybody loves it, but it'll wreck you in the end.
But let's not sell Luis Tapia short. You know, he's been in this business for a while,
Yeah,
and without
that shoulder injury didn't just come from him, taking a shower. That dude has been in some wars in this ring. So they both have put a lot out there and done their fair share to prove that they deserve to be the #1 contenders for this title.
Referee Victoria being very thorough, checking everything, making sure that nothing gets past her. Hey, what's going on there? Oh, he's trying to search her and say himself, hey, don't be so handsy.
Stay focused, man. Stay focused.
The deeds of Luis Tapia are the deeds of Luis Tapia alone. They do not represent Orange County Championship Wrestling, the Free Admission Channel, or the Royal Ramble, or anyone else with any morals.
Luis is a trained referee. He knows when it's a bad touch.
Okay, fair enough. I don't think I've ever heard of a bad touch before.
I think what he was trying to do was a bad touch.
Yes.
But they start off with their
strong lockup. Look at neither man is taking a backward step.
They're pretty evenly matched. I don't think either guy's going to move the other significantly.
Fair enough.
It's good.
As they continue circling. Has the podcast been paused, Robert? I'm watching it too.
A couple of arm drives by Luis. Taking it to Freddie early.
Trevor retreats to the corner.
Luis might have that right shoulder wrapped up. There's nothing wrong with the left. You better watch those arm drives, Freddie.
I think it's amazing about this is both these men have been in business for quite some time. I think this is the first time that they've stepped in the ring against each other.
And I want to make a point. Yes, they've been in this business for a long time. They've done their time as referees. They've done their time as anything but wrestlers. Oftentimes, people sold them both short. One of the neat things about the American Legion and the title they're in is that anyone has a chance, right? Anyone who works hard at OCCW has a chance. I don't believe in trying to get just the biggest names I can, because frankly those biggest names do not draw, right? These boys went out, they slung tickets, they talked to their family, they talked to their friends. They are not embarrassed to be pro wrestlers. And in doing so, they take great pride in what they do, and people come to see them. Sorry, I hate to tell you, but that's the way it is, and that's why I put these two in this match.
They're classic wrestlers.
Yes.
They're classic.
Wrestling in a classic match.
You're not going to get in the ring and try to dive over these guys' heads and do flippity stuff. They're going to take you down. That's the way they are.
Don't be fooled, though. There is some athleticism in there.
Oh, I'm not saying there's not.
Listen, I've never seen a hip toss go so low under the rope. I've seen him go over the top rope, never under the bottom rope.
Something came loose.
Might have rolled an ankle there.
Oh, he does not look good. That is a hard floor. That is solid tile. Yeah.
I don't understand how taking bumps on that floor is not.
Either count or go back to the ring. Or find out if he's okay. There you go.
It looks like he's not going to.
Count, woman. Jesus.
Is he quit?
It looks like he's
Is he walking out? That's not something I would expect from Luis.
No, but then you know what?
Don't walk away, Luis.
Maybe there was something in the air that night, huh? You didn't expect Mike O'Shea to stab you in the back.
But I mean, you can see how frustrated Havoc is getting with the fact that he's not doing the fight back in the ring.
That might be a mental ploy from, we talked about him being...
Tapia's in. I knew Tapia was in.
Back elbow.
Big right hand from Tapia.
The strikes are coming out.
Yep. More of a friendly grappling tete-a-tete. Yes, tete-a-tete.
We always like to jump in time machines here.
Oh,
There it is. 1, 2. That could be it.
This is a quick two count.
Stays alive.
Chiver's still moving. Chiving on, as they say.
Oh, you stomped him in the head,
With that hurt ankle. And there's another one.
AJ's remind him that he's in an actual fight here.
Putting on the submission.
A little stiff and a little snug here and there. It's not a bad thing. Let them know that you're in here to actually win a match. Looks like that ankle is still bothering Tapia, though.
Yeah, he's just not quite. Oh, that's a spear through the ropes.
See, there's nothing wrong with those shoulders.
I see London, I see France, I see Freddie Havix, and
Fix your pants, Freddy. You're getting beat up.
oh, that was
That's
right on
what
the
you
head.
get for fixing your pants. Come on there.
Look, by the way, that's a very nice new banner we have there around the ring. You know, handsome devils
Our
there.
faces are very prominent on there.
Oh, you know what?
And angry.
Very angry.
You don't look too angry. You look like you're standing underneath mistletoe there. Both men are Chiver down. Sidewalk slam coming.
There you go.
Oh, on the knee. Backbreaker.
Sorry for the camera work. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay, you're just looking at the banner.
That's
The banner
fine.
looks
Check out the banner.
It really looks like Tapia is struggling with that ankle, but he's still got to stay on top of Havik. He can't get distracted.
I wouldn't be climbing the ropes with an ankle that's to fall.
Taking it in. Oh, excellently executed.
High risk, high reward.
A real hit, man.
1, 2.
2 count. You know, Chiver's got those thick shoulders. You know, I've tussled a little bit with him. I know he's incredibly strong in the upper body.
He's got
So
more than just thick shoulders. Travis is thick and
he's got a thick head too.
he can take a lot of punches.
That's right. I mean, but my point is, what I was trying to say was that he's going to take a little more than a light cover to keep his shoulders to the mat. You know, you're going to have to put him on Queer Street and then try to finish him. When your head is all messed up. You never heard the term?
Oh, put him on Queer Street.
You've never heard that. That's an old boxing term.
Chiver's coming to life. He's coming to life. Stay on him, Chiver.
I see a shoulder block he's got.
Freddie Havik has had enough of Luis's nonsense.
He's like a belly to back. Oh, that's a hard one there.
It looked like it took a little bit out. He's still feeling it.
Crowd's getting into it. You know, and like I said, that family was really cool. It's fun to watch. You know, when you put on a show and you see a whole family just enjoying not only their time together, but their time together at your show. You know, this is why we have people like Chiver and Tapia in the ring.
Because I see a whole family together.
Well, it's because you can't afford to get into Disneyland. Okay.
He's seen his family.
Couple hundred years.
Fight.
It's a belly to belly. Oh, suplex from the Chiver. Tapia is down. Chiver is down.
Hello.
You know,
Gotta roll over and pin him. Just pin him.
somebody.
Get an arm over him, Luis.
Look at that cinematography. That's some good shit there. Never have me hold a camera again.
Oh,
Buddy,
good.
you got caught with your pants down and took an elbow to the face.
Want to give a shout out to our camera woman.
It looks like he's going for a suplex.
Oh, he's putting him on that top rope. Something a little more
He might be
dastardly.
going for a suplex off the
Ooh.
Through that shirt, you can hear that chop.
Now that's something out of Queer Street right there.
Those guys have heavy hands.
They do.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
I don't know,
Might
man.
get thrown through the ceiling here.
I don't know if I would.
Gentlemen. Oh!
Do you see his nose
Right
bounce
on the
off that
bad
mask?
shoulder of Tapia.
We're gonna wear 2 braces this time.
Yeah.
Next time.
Looks like Havik up.
Uh-oh.
Chiver's having a little trouble negotiating that top rope.
Coming off.
With the
Oh, to the face. Jeez.
Can't say I'd see a lot of men come back from that crossbody, huh?
Yeah, that's enough to smash your spleen.
Beat you up a little bit. Looks like having some paper in that right knee.
Give it to him, Freddie. Lay it in there.
Harder, Daddy. I mean,
Kind of a nonchalant cover on Tapia's part. I think one's got to think that if he maybe hooked that in a little tighter, he might have gotten that
but he's
three.
exhausted, John. He's exhausted. You don't always have the energy to follow through 100%.
You can be exhausted, but you cannot take your opponent for granted.
Oh,
You let your
not
guard
anyone
down
like
for a
that.
second.
All techniques work on paper, but once you get punched in the mouth, ain't nobody got no plan.
No, you sound like some. Yeah, but he didn't say that. That was Sonny Liston. He was quoting Sonny Liston. Now, what is that?
Sonny Liston's key.
Watch out.
He lied about his age.
Time to get spry.
Oh!
Out of
A big
nowhere.
cutter from the chiver.
Cutter from the chiver.
1, 2. That's it.
And there you got
We
it.
have a Legion champion.
The American Legion champion
Let's see that beautiful belt.
of Southern California. Orange County to be specific. Ladies and gentlemen.
Did he win that? Let's put that up there.
I would hazard a guess as to say that, yeah, he sure does.
Look at that bright, shiny belt. I don't think Chiver quite knows what happened yet. I don't think he knows that he won.
No, I don't think he does.
And let me tell you something, John. At all your events, those meatball sandwiches are pretty damn good over there, too.
They are good. You know what? And you might be able to pick them up at 99 bottles of cocktails soon, as they might be taking over the food over there. We'll have more on that as it develops. Yes.
The world does any of that have to do with Chiver?
Have you had one of those meatball sandwiches?
We all can tell that after this match, China was
For a meatball sandwich.
It's the culmination of a decade's worth of work in the
Now, who's that there, John?
championship.
That is Jim Eubanks. He is the post commander, and he is the one that is awarding the inaugural American Legion belt to the Chiver. We'd lost the as well.
For the last 2 or 3 years, I've had wars with Freddie Holman. I've had wars with everybody in the law.
I couldn't find
I've
it.
been on board with Michael O'Shea.
well, we made
Yes.
This belt's not for me. This belt is for all of you and the whole campaign.
See, and this is what a true
This is for you guys.
man that represents OCCW is all about. He turns his victory into our victory. He did it not just for himself.
Right.
He did it for those fans that were there to support him.
And for the Legion Post, the Legion Post deserves a lot of credit. They took us in, late notice and whatnot. Ladies and gentlemen, here with the inaugural American Legion Post American Legion Championship belt, please welcome. Bring him in here. I'll make some room. Freddie the Chiver Havoc. Yay! Congratulations. Freddie, I gotta tell you, this.
Hold on one second. Hold on.
This has been a breath of fresh air in an otherwise dull time.
I wanna do this
Dull
for a
time.
while.
Yes,
I wanna do this
absolutely.
for a while.
Oh, look at this.
You get to display.
Right on.
We can't even see it.
We can't see
I think our
it.
table is higher than usual.
Yeah, you know what? The table does seem to be a bit higher. Let me see if I
We're
can
going to
adjust
fix
it.
that right now. We're going
Let
to
me
fix
see if I
that.
can adjust it. Hold on. Let me see this.
This is like a lowrider.
I'm trying to. It's kind of stuck.
Pass it on over. I'll hold
It's
on to
great.
it for a little bit. It's fine.
Hold on. Wait.
My arms are
Yeah,
free.
Hey, lift with your legs, John.
That's
That'll
right.
do it.
Lift with your legs.
It's not easy being me. All right, let's scoot just to your left, just a tad. All right, come on in right in here, Trevor.
On the edge.
All right. Now, as you can see, we're a little bit crowded today, so we're gonna make do. It's almost like the locker room during a battle royal.
It's like Golden Corral.
What? I don't know.
He spends a lot of time at Golden Corral.
Okay. Golden Corral. First of all, congratulations, Mr. Chiver. It is an honor and a pleasure to have you as the inaugural American Legion champion here in Southern California in Orange County and OCCW. Talk to us a little bit about how things have changed for you, how they stayed the same. Tell me a little bit about your match and your opponent and your thoughts. Get closer.
You know, let me get closer.
Can you scoot over a little bit?
I mean, you see I'm halfway in the damn
Just
shop.
right.
I'll go right there. I'll go in. No love here. No love for the new champ.
Yeah, show some love to the new champ.
I mean, we all got belts. Gus, where's your belt?
Oh no!
I mean, you spent the last few weeks.
That's too
talking a
soon.
lot of
Too
crap
soon. Too soon.
With showing this potato with these little googly eyes, you know, I don't see a belt.
Don't listen.
It is Halloween.
All this stuff over here talking about the Lucha Pro go away, OCCW Brotherhood, yeah.
He's got a point.
Good
Let's
for
show some
you.
solidarity
And you're gonna
here.
go over
You want
there
some- you want
and
some
talk some
solidarity.
smack on me like that.
I will
sorry,
talk
you're
some
right.
smack. You know what, Gus?
next
Here,
time you sit him next to me.
this would have never happened. This whole Mikey O'Shea thing would have never happened if you actually chose me to be your partner. Just saying. Just saying. I was left out of that main event, but you know what? I came out even a bigger winner here. That's what's important here. That's what's important. You don't think I'm upset about the Mikey O'Shea thing?
I don't think you're
trusted
upset
that
about
man.
the Mikey O'Shea
I
thing.
trusted that man.
I thought you were a part of the team here, but now that I'm seeing you across the table here, it seems a little bit
I
more
think
like
maybe
you're
just
all about
some
Freddie the
I
Child.
mean, maybe I'm
friendly
still
razzing.
a little sour, like the sour cream joke earlier.
Maybe
Yeah.
his nerves may be a little bit raw. Okay, we'll just say I have no doubt in my mind that Freddie is 100% OCCW. We don't have to see him pulling out his stiletto and sticking it in our backs in favor of Lucha Pro. So whatever your
Yeah,
issue,
I will
better.
apologize now. We'll keep it professional. I apologize, Mr. Uberstud.
he apologized.
Oh, okay, fine. But just to make sure that thing doesn't go running away to another league, pulling out stilettos and stuff, you better pull out something and put it on the table and make sure that thing actually stays over here.
Fair enough. You know, and you know, we do have some work that needs to be done to the belt to honor, the American Legion, and we'll get into that later. Talk to me, champ.
Well, you asked questions. The question was, what has changed and what stayed the same? A lot has changed. Obviously there was a lot of messages and well wishes after the match from people I wasn't expecting, as well as there was the pressure came on right above.
I don't hitting you up to wrestle.
Well, I don't feel like a champ. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't feel like a champ. I've always had the mentality of, if I'm gonna call myself a champ, I gotta do one thing and one thing first, and that is defend the belt.
That's right.
If I can't defend this belt and come out successful in my first title defense, then I never was a champ. That's the way I look at it, and that's not only on me, but that would let a lot of people down. A lot of people that look up to me and that give me their moral support, all their support pretty much. That's what thrives me is the support, is the energy that they feed off of, the positive energy, and I've gone and wrestled at many places over the last few months, and I've had people come up to me, fans in particular, they come up to me and they say that that they're amazed and they're happy that I'm in the ring and that I give them hope. They see a guy of my stature, and I'm not the most gifted athlete with muscles and six packs and whatnot.
He's not the prettiest pig in the pen.
You've mentioned it before. You call me the Dusty Rhodes of.
Yeah, but I wasn't making fun of how you looked. I was saying you're like Dusty Rhodes.
I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying it was. I'm
Common
just saying
man.
if you look at Dusty Rhodes was not, your average wrestler, but that man can wrestle.
That man was
fight.
awesome.
And that's something that I'm trying to bring out there. I'm not flashy. I'm not dropping 450s and 619s.
Right.
I'm gonna do everything I have to do, and that includes today I just got here from the gym. I'm still hitting the gym hard. I got to get ready for whatever's coming up next. Got to be prepared, trying to get in better shape as well as get faster in the ring, and that counts with my training as well. You can't stop training because one of these guys right here, with all due respect, they're definitely going to come hunting for this belt. And I got to be ready for them. You got BA over here to the right of me. And man's buffer than hell. And I know that guy can pack a punch. He's mentioned in the past that he's punched me in the face, and it hurt. I ain't gonna sit here and lie and say that it didn't, but you know what? That's part of the fight. You got Daniel Azrael, who he's been doing a lot. I've known him for quite a while, and he's well rounded as well. He's always got some tricks up his sleeve, and you got to be ready. And Gus Uberstead, someone who I've wrestled in the past twice, came up short both times. He brought it to me, so I got to be ready for him as well, and anybody else.
Yeah, my waistline's feeling a little naked right now, and that gold is looking pretty delicious. So
Well, you know, it is Halloween. Maybe I'll let you borrow it to make you feel like a champ. You know?
Oh, jeez. Whoa.
Oh, wait.
You know, maybe I'll let you borrow my ball sack so you can man up and actually.
Hold up. Let's not get too crazy, guys.
You're right.
Hey, quick breaking news, Mr. Havoc. Vegas says I want next.
Who did?
Vegas says I want next.
Don't let any of them near that thing. You don't know.
Damn it, no. Nobody from Lucha Pro. No.
But I want to hear Havoc's piece to Vega.
Well, we all want shots at the Lucha Pro Championship. How about that, huh?
That was pretty good, actually.
Okay, Robert.
So, any response back to Vega, real quick?
Vega wants a shot at this. You know what, Vega? I don't even know who my opponent is next show on the 30th of November. But I will say this. Unlike your champion, Mr. Vintage Dragon, there's not going to be a list. There's not going to be a list of who. I'm not even picking my list. I'm letting my boss, Jonathan Malice, pick my opponent. Because you know what? I don't pick fights. Plain and simple. I'll take on whoever it is. So I'm not here to pick fights, but I'm also not scared of you. So if it happens to be you, let's do it, big guy. And I don't care about your little slums of Lucha Pro. You know what? I've been in dog fights. And there's a one man that I look up to. His fictional name is Captain America. We can do this all day.
Wait, what?
Wait, what? You're gonna wrestle?
I'm not gonna wrestle him.
I'm not saying we are. I say you're gonna choose. You're choosing my opponent. I'm saying if it happens to be,
choose. Wink, wink.
if it happens to be him, let's do it. I'm not scared. I won't back down of any challenge. So
I am not going to wrestle you.
Whoever it is, Mr. Jonathan Mouse, I'm not scared. I don't care who it is.
All right, fair enough. Robert, can you put that in the forefront? That our new little flyer there, our preliminary flyer. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Orange County Championship Wrestling returns to American Legion, not Outpost, Post. American Legion Post 555. Right?
I love that the background is the African flag.
I know what I'm saying.
Wakanda forever.
The views and opinions of Jonathan Malice are of those of Jonathan Malice.
Those are holiday colors, red and
Really?
white.
Holiday.
Christmas?
Kwanzaa. Got the blue for Hanukkah.
That motherfucking Kwanzaa right there.
All right, listen. All right. Like I said, it's a preliminary.
The views
Preliminary.
and artwork of Jonathan Malice are those of Jonathan Malice.
American Legion Post 555, November 30th, 2019. Tickets are $15 pre-sale, $20 out at the door. Put your hands.
Wakanda forever.
Put it on the main screen.
Wakanda forever.
Hold on, wait. Don't put your hands down yet. There you go.
We are the nation of
Domination.
We're together right here.
Very good. Much thanks to our now probably feelings hurt graphic designer for putting this together.
Did you see her comment?
What'd she say?
She said, "Shut the f up," but she actually put "fuck up."
It's a bigger, blacker Saturday.
Poor Vivian. We love you, Vivian.
Which is that WWE meme that's going around?
We do love you, Viv.
The screen with the t-shirt design.
Miles James or something like that.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I want to give once again congratulations to Freddie the Havoc Chiver. Freddie the Chiver Havoc. Sorry.
Wow.
And I want to invite each and every one of you to American Legion Post 555, Saturday, November 30th. Doors open at 5:30. Bell time is at 6 p.m. I want to thank Joey Barone for coming on the show earlier. I want to thank Goose and Thunder Uberstud for coming on the show despite having a very difficult weekend. I want to thank the boys, Thunder and Lightning, for giving it their all this weekend. And I want to thank Freddie Havoc for being on the show, the new American Legion champion. So for Jonathan Malice, that's me. For Joey the Bull.
That's right. And to all of our viewers, everybody, and including down here, Rachel. She's watching.
Hi, Rachel. I said
What?
Rachel. She's a friend.
Yeah, you know what? You can start with that yoga star nonsense
she was
too.
cheering me
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Royal Ramble. We hope all of your bumps take place in the ring.
It's your boy, Yogi
Get him,
Star.
John.
Hey!
Get